What's up, guys? Today we're looking at Gravity by John Mayer, one of my favorites, and one of the most useful songs and practical to be able to show you some of the things that I find most important in my playing. This is a perfect song to get you out of a beginner or early intermediate rut, because it's mainly two chords going back and forth, and you can do a lot with these two chords and the voicings that John uses in this song. So my goal here is that in part one, I'm going to show you just how John plays the rhythm and how he plays the solos. But in part two, I want to explain to you what else you can do with these voicings, how you can find some more freedom in these voicings, and how you can use them to make your own flair, how to put your own style on it. And I also want to show you that you shouldn't just be memorizing the notes for this solo. You got to pay attention to the scales at play here and what other scales you could potentially use for the solo, how else you can improvise on it and with the chords. You can do a whole lot, so much with this song. Again, it's simple to break down and play with because it's just two chords. My goal is for you to take these voicings and take this flair, take these tricks with you, so you can play them in other songs, so you're not strapped down and memorizing these chords and these notes just for Gravity. The idea is to improve on your musicianship and to excel forward with comprehensive knowledge. So let's just take a closer look at Gravity. Alright, so let's dive right in here. For the most part, this is two chords. You got a G chord and a C chord. But instead of playing in the first position like we're used to, we're going to play a G here, more like this, and a C chord here. A little odd looking, but let me break it down. First, the G. So, if you were going to play an F chord, but just like the bottom of it, and slide that up 2 frets, that's how John plays it here. And he wraps the thumb to hit the root, to hit that G. You don't have to play it this way if you can't. You can just play the bottom of it. But if you can hit the thumb, give it a shot. Technically, it's poor technique, but Jimi Hendrix did it, John Mayer's done it, so who cares? So you got the thumb, 3rd finger on the D string, 5th fret, 2nd finger on the G string, 4th fret, and the 1st finger on the B string, 3rd fret. And that 5th string is kind of getting muted by my 3rd finger. I'm not letting it ring out. It sounds like poop. You got to mute it. So my finger's just resting on it. Same with the high E string. I'm not doing this. It sounds like junk. So then the C chord, it's like playing, if you were to play an A minor here, that's a common voicing, but you're just playing like the bottom. So you got the 3rd finger on the 7th fret, and then you're barring the 1st finger on the next 3 strings of the 5th fret. Just like that. A little odd at first. So picture taking this power chord here on the C and taking the root and shifting it up from the 3rd to the 7th fret. So the song starts, he hits the solo, which I'll go over in a minute, and then he immediately comes into the verse. Just starts picking in a little pop. With a little hammer on with the pinky under your 3rd finger. then hit to the C. So it's same deal. C. So he does a little slide here. He comes up. So take this little position here with your with your first finger and your third finger, and then shift it down to the next string, and you can slide it up. So you're going from with your third finger on the 7th fret and your first finger on the 5th. You're going to keep them in the same frets and just shift them both down to the next string. Slide them up 2 frets and back down. A little hammer on from the A string, 5th fret to the 7th fret, and then up on the next string. So all together here. So you'll hear that a lot, where he's hitting 2 notes at the same time. They're like little double stops. John does that a lot, where he'll hit more than one string and just do a couple hammer-ons and pull-offs. So the second time around, we hit the G again, but he does a little hammer-on. You can hammer on any of these strings on the 5th fret under your 3rd finger. And it sounds good. So he does a hammer on the high E string and the B string to the C. He just does a little hammer on down here. Just like that. So he's on the D string and then the A string. And then we're into the B section already. So don't be intimidated by this second section. Call it a chorus, call it a B section. The first chord looks a little crazy. Start with just an A minor. So you're hitting that open A string, and then remember this voicing? So we're not fretting the root, we're not fretting the 5th, we're playing that open A, and then the bottom here. So it's close to that C chord, but we're just shifting our 3rd finger down, along with the rest of it. So we're putting our 3rd finger on the D string, 7th fret, then we're barring with our 1st finger on the rest of the strings on the 5th fret. So just like this. And hit that open A string. But then we're going to put our pinky over top, B string, 8th fret. So it sounds like this. That's nice. Just like that. So it's a variation of an A minor. It's an A minor with a dominant 7 in it, actually. And then we're switching to here, which is a D7 with a 10 on top. So this is a very important D7 shape right here. Middle finger is on the 5th fret of the A string. Pointer finger is on the 4th fret of the D string. 3rd finger is on the 5th fret of the G string. That's a really important shape. You can put that everywhere. Then we're putting our pinky all the way up here, B string, 7th fret. So I know it looks awkward for me to play it, but I'm actually comfortable playing it this way now. Little bit of a stretch. If you can't play it at first, that's okay. You can just use these bottom notes. Next, we're taking the same shape, but we're shifting it down a set of strings and all the way up. So our middle finger is lining up with the 8th fret. So again, take that, shift it down a set of strings, and shift it up so your middle finger is on the 8th fret. Right there. So that's the voicing of the chord, and I believe the root should technically be down on the 6th string, 6th fret. So let's continue here. Let's start from the beginning of the B section. So this next chord, you got a D sharp major 7 or an E flat major 7. But it's a variation. Very cool variation. There's several ways to play a major 7. So take your middle finger. It's on the A string, 6th fret. Pointer finger on the D string, 5th fret. Putting our pinky on the next string, the G string, 7th fret. And then your 3rd finger, again on the 6th fret of the B string. Very nice. And then we're back to the second chord we played in this progression, which is a D7. All together. To the next verse. So once you get a couple of these movements down with the G chord and the C chord here, you can just kind of mix them up however you feel like doing it. So going into the second verse on the G chord, John does the same thing as the first time around. The only difference is over the C chord. When he slides up a little early and he hangs on it. And so instead of he hangs on it. Again. Just like that. So this last time around here is pretty interesting. We go back to the G chord. So we have this beautiful little slide with an interval here. So take that G shape and just play the G and the E string. So you get this shape here with these two fingers. So there's a gap in the middle. You're not playing the B string, just the G and the E. So you got your middle finger on the 4th fret, first finger on the 3rd fret. Then you shift it up, so both fingers are on the 5th, and then you slide it up again to the 7th, which makes for a very nice interval that you can use. So again with the G chord. I think it's easiest to use your 3rd finger and your pinky. If it's a little tough at first, that's okay. First of all, you don't have to do it. You can just do some of the other flair that we went over before. Or you can use different fingers. Pinky. This finger. However's easiest. If you can, do it. And then to the C. He does one of these. So what he did is he slid up into the C. And he hit the pinky on the 8th fret of the B string, and then on the 7th. And then he lifts it up. So it works because he's sliding down the G scale here. To the B section. See, it's exactly the same. So that, for the most part, covers the rhythm section of how he's playing the G and the C shape. There's a lot more variation you can do, especially when you hear him play it live. So I will go over a lot of that in such great detail in part 2, and I'll also include in the part 2 chord charts for the G and C in these voicings, and for the B section, incredibly helpful. And I'll also show you tabs and scales that we're about to go over for the solo. So in the intro here, he slides up on the D string into the 14th fret. Then he lands on the 12 on the G string. And then on the G string, the 14th fret, and he bends up. Like this. And then you hear it go down to the G chord to do a little. Comes back up. So in the same position, but instead of going, he goes. Little bend up, mute, start again, bend up. And again, he throws a little something over the C. So that last time around, he slides up. So it has a bend up, mute, and then hold it. Hold it in that bent position. We're up. And we bend back down. And then we hit the 14th fret on the D string and then G string. So all together. Right in there. And keep in mind, for this lead up here, we're in a major pentatonic box. In the first pentatonic box here. That's all pentatonic shape. All things that I'm going to go over in part 2. So, now to quickly go over the solo in the middle of the song, and we're going to focus on the studio recorded version. The version from Live in LA is a lot more crazy, extensive, and wild. Let's start with the studio version here. So, we're staying in the same basic position, but on the B string we're starting on the 10th fret, and we're sliding up. We're sliding up to the 10th, from the 10th to the 12th, and then all the way up to the 15th. Picture the pentatonic shape here. So that second time around, we went from the 10th to the 12th, all the way up to the 17th. It's tough, so you're going to miss it. You're going to overshoot it. You're going to undershoot it. But it's okay, you just keep practicing. And then pull off the 17th to the 15th. And quickly slide down to the 12th. Just like that. So all together. Then up to the 17th. Pull off and slide. Then we're hitting 12 on the B and then the G. Then we come up to the 15th fret of the B. So we're hitting 15, 17, and then we're hitting 19 on the high E. And then we repeat and hit the 17th. So you do that twice, but the second time you do it quicker. Next part's a little tricky. You need to have a little control with your bend here. So you're going on 19, then hitting 15 down here. And then on the 15 B string, down to the 12. I like to slide up on the G string into the 16th fret, B string 15, 17, and then slide down on the G string again from the 16 to the 14. To finish it, you're on the G string from 12, 14, 19, 17. All together. And as soon as you finish that, you're into the B section again. So again, it's a really smooth solo. Pay attention to the pentatonic shapes here. They guide the way. So part 2 of this series is available on my Patreon account, link down below. There I have a full breakdown of the mentality, my mentality of this song, along with chord charts, scale diagrams, tabs for this song, and cage system diagrams which show you how to play the chord in different ways. Cage system is... the cage system is my life, honestly, as a musician. So you can find all this and more on my Patreon account, where I also have 3 other song tutorials already uploaded to it. I'm really excited to see what you guys have to say about it. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Thank you.